important. Ultimately, that busyness keeps you from truly living your life. As long as you convince yourself that your work is so vital that it forces you to stay busy, you'll never reach ultimate fulfillment. You'll stop yourself from experiencing what life is all about. The time has come for a new plan, a quest that is more achievable, more desirable, and healthier than the old one, where you must enjoy life to the fullest, where you have plenty of time and money, where you have the freedom to do whatever you want, whenever you want, where you find joy in your everyday activities. I call this journey Work Less, Make More. Work less is not just about learning how to better manage your time. Yes, many of you want to spend less time at the office, and this book will help you do that. What work less also means is that you find so much joy in what you do every day that you come home from work energized and renewed, rather than burned out and exhausted. Work less is about putting the passion and inspiration back into your life. The problem is, most of you believe you don't have the time to make your life passionate again. This book will help you free up time so you can focus on living. Work less not only means having the time to live the life you want, but turning your work into play so you no longer have to work at all. The other part of this book is Make More. There's an important thing you need to know. Making more is not just about making more money. I know that's probably what you thought when you read the title and bought this book. Making more is also about making more of your life. Isn't that why you want more time and more money? So you can have the freedom to do what you want to do when you want to do it. In other words, making more of your life. Work Less, Make More is a lifestyle. It's about redesigning your life so you can feel satisfied, fulfilled, passionate about living again. Working less and making more is a very personal quest to me, because I spent many years working way too much. I was caught up in wearing the right clothes, driving the right car, having the right job, making the right amount of money. Isn't that what the American dream is all about? During those days, what my husband and I call the dark years, I spent a lot of time rushing around and not a lot of time laughing. I used to say, if I had more time, I'd have more fun. The truth was I didn't have a clue what having fun was all about. I often found myself saying, work is fun, but frankly, I was lying to myself. You see, I was following the advice my parents, teachers, and mentors had given me. I know you've heard this advice as well. Some people call it the Puritan work ethic. What it comes down to is you must suffer and sacrifice for your success. You need to work long, hard hours, be fully dedicated and committed, and someday, if you're lucky, success will be yours. I was determined to be one of the lucky ones. So I became consumed by my work. I worked all the time. I was the one who turned on the lights at the office and the one to turn them off in the evening. I used to wake up in the middle of the night thinking about work. I talked about work. I thought about work all the time. I was obsessed with being successful. My definition of success back then was achieving at work. The day I decided to dramatically change my life was a day I'll never forget. I was with my husband, eating pizza and drinking beer, when out of the blue he said, "When are you quitting your job?" I looked at him, shocked. Why would I quit my job? I make great money, I have a company car, free cellular service, a huge Rolodex. Besides, I'm too busy to quit my job. Who would pay the bills? Never mind that he owned a profitable company. Notice what I focused on was all the stuff in my life. I was deeply concerned about what I had, not with who I was. He calmly looked at me and said, "I don't like who you're becoming." It was in that moment that I realized the person I was becoming was not the person I really am. My life was more than the money I made. It was more than the house I lived in, the car I drove, and the clothes I wore. On that fateful day, I decided to ask myself an important question. How can I make more of my life? I went out to find the answer. I read books and I went to seminars. I talked to successful people, wealthy people, and tried to figure out what they were doing. I found that many of them were looking for the answer to that same question. They weren't quite sure how to work less and make more either. I discovered that most people want to know how to find fulfillment and still have lots of money. I did too. Living a simple life in the woods was not the answer. Work less, make more became my answer. For me, I had to leave my corporate job and become an entrepreneur in order to start on my work less, make more journey. But please know I struggled with this idea of working less and making more. Just because I quit my job didn't mean all of a sudden I got it. If you think I worked a lot when I was in corporate America, you should have seen me during the early years when I was in business for myself. I learned how to work less and make more not only by experimenting with my own life, but when I became a success coach 5 years ago, by learning a tremendous amount from my clients. I watched them struggle to work less and make more, and I was compelled to help them find an easier way. We worked together to find the path. You'll meet many of my clients in this book who have done it. I've changed their names to protect their privacy. Many of them started in the same place you are right now. They wanted to work less and make more, but they weren't quite sure how to begin. You'll experience their pain and suffering. You'll see what they did to create new lives. You'll be amazed at their courage to dive in and change. And you'll learn exactly what they did with my coaching to work less and make more. It is possible. Now, don't get me wrong. Work less, make more is not an easy program. It wasn't easy when I first started on this journey, and it's not always easy now. You'll need to take a good look at how you got to where you are right now. You'll need to decide what your life has been about up to this point. Inspecting your life with a fine-tooth comb is not an easy thing to do. To be successful with work less, make more, you'll have to make some hard decisions. Take some dramatic actions. Say no to some things that you want to say yes to. As your coach, I'll ask you to find a better way. Many times it'll be a simpler way. And often you'll shatter your illusions and have to take a risk. It won't be easy, but if you're committed to working less and making more, you'll make that dream a reality. This book helps you chart a course to make more out of your life. You won't find lasting satisfaction until you design a life that supports who you are, not what you have or do. Lasting fulfillment comes not from achieving and acquiring, but from becoming who you really are. My vision for you is that you find deep fulfillment while making as much money as you've always wanted. I know you can make more of your life. Get ready. You're about to embark on the adventure of a lifetime. Getting started. There was a time, according to Hindu legend, when people had all the knowledge of the gods. Yet time and time again they were more interested in pleasures of the flesh than they were in using the wisdom that was lying at their feet. Times haven't changed much, have they? One day, a god called Brahma decided to hide this wisdom where only the most persistent would discover it. He was tired of openly giving the people a gift they weren't using, and he knew if humans had to look for the answer, they would more wisely use it. "Let's bury it deep in the earth," one god suggested. Brahma replied, "No, too many people will dig down into the earth and find it." "Then let's put it in the deepest ocean," said another. Brahma rejected that idea, too. "People will learn to dive and will find it someday," he said. A third god asked, "Why don't we hide it on the highest mountain?" Brahma answered, "No, people can climb the highest mountain. I have a better idea. Let's hide it deep inside the people themselves. They'll never think to look in there." So it was, and so it is. You have all the wisdom, all the power to start making more of your life right now. Problem is, you have all the knowledge, but you don't apply what you have already learned. Sure, there are things that get in your way. Every one of us has challenges that show up. I'll help you discover what those are so you can develop a plan to blast through your blocks. And blast through those blocks you will. Before we go any further, it's important for you to know why this book is different, why I'm different from most other writers you'll read. When I say I work as a success coach,